Our Voice, Our Opinion is brought to you by Grand Diva Studios, owned and operated by Jamaica Kitchens, specializing in natural and healthy hair care.
Hello and welcome back to Our Voice, Our Opinions. And we're going to be talking about the New York police officers who turned their back on the mayor for the second time at their fallen comrade's funeral. Yes. Now, I was like, why? What's the big deal? Why are they making such a big deal? I did not know about the comment that he had made earlier. And it says that one of the reasons that they're really upset with him is because they didn't feel that he had supported them during the time of all the protests. And he also made a comment that his biracial son, Dante, could have something to fear from law enforcement one day. And so he was just making that comment, that he understood the protest because he has a biracial son who looks like a black man, and he said, well, maybe one day my son might have that to fear from police. And the police thought that was unfair, and they felt that was not supportive. How do you feel about that? You feel, especially as a high-ranking, official, should he have even said something like that?
I understand his sentiment. Maybe the verbiage wasn't necessarily correct, but basically what he was trying to say is my son may have something to fear from a segment of the population of officers that may have a bias. So that's what he was trying to convey.
Right.
It came out as a general statement, as as all law enforcement, but I think most people understood what he was trying to say.
Right.
But to the level of disrespect, that's something totally different. Because what he was trying to do was show support of something that he knew was unfair. It wasn't right. And in lieu of what happened, and not only what happened in New York, but what's happening across the country. He was trying to make a statement to say, this isn't right. I want the people of New York to understand that this isn't right. And I want the people of New York to understand, I walk in your shoes every day because I fear this for my own son. That's what he was trying to say. But when you take that out of context and you take it personally to the extent of, oh, he's not supporting us, that's not what he was trying to convey. And instead of supporting him and saying, hey, Mayor, maybe we could have said this a little better, but to show that disrespect and to say, I'm going to turn
such a public
my back on you in that public kind of forum, all I have to say is look at the percentage of people in the U.S. versus the percentage of law enforcement.
I kind of disagree a little bit because being a native from New York for about 20 years, the police have some type of bond with each other. It's a code of silence that even if they do wrong, they won't admit it.
I'm not sure that's unique to New York.
So but what was shocking is that it took someone in a leadership position to stand up and speak against it in a professional manner. So that just shows you the underlying bias and racism, because when you saw the clippings or you read the article, certain people didn't turn around.
Not all officers turn.
Yeah.
Right. And they showed one picture where everybody's turned around except for one black officer.
Right.
And he you see that picture a lot.
And I understand because I've been pulled over 40 times in New York, and I didn't do anything wrong. I've been told I fit the description. I've been told your tail light is out. I've been told a lot of things. And it takes someone to stand up, because when no one stands up, you have what you have in Ferguson, angry people getting mad because no one hears your voice. And he did it in such a professional manner. I think it was immature for those police officers to take the spotlight of a funeral of a fallen comrade and turn their back, because they show disrespect to their uniform and they show disrespect to the leader at the same time.
Right.
And I also think that anytime somebody puts out their opinions, there's going to be pros and cons. There's going to be people that like it and people that don't. And unfortunately, I think even though, in my opinion, the people that disagree with him are in the minority,
Yeah.
that's the people that's getting the most spotlight. And I think also it's going back to the police force. It's been this way all along. They've been
Yeah.
able to do what they want. There's always
No accountability.
there's no accountability, and I think they're afraid that there is some changing of the tide.
And that's what I was
And
saying.
anytime
So
that
ostracize that mayor.
exactly penalize him, although obviously from what we see, there are definitely some issues that go on in
Systemic.
police departments that need to be cleaned up. I'm not saying it's
Oh,
everyone.
right,
Good
I'm not
police
even
officers
saying
out
it's a
there.
majority.
right.
But we know from statistically speaking that there are a number out there that aren't following, that aren't enforcing the laws the way they're meant to be enforced.
Right.
And those are the ones that I think he is describing and he is concerned about if his son and if our sons ever come across
Yes.
that type of individual
Agreed.
as far as law enforcement.
And for such a small group of law enforcement, when I said the percentage of the overall population versus the percentage of law enforcement, that small percentage of law enforcement governs all those people. So we are literally at their hands. A very small percentage. So even if they say a small bit can spoil a bunch, even though it may be one or two officers, when you consider the percentage of officers to the general population, what that percentage is, 2 or 3 can make a huge difference in the way that
Right.
the population
Is
views.
affected.
Exactly. So
Because they're running across so many
yeah,
people on a
because,
day-to-day basis.
exactly. Not only
Right.
day-to-day
Right,
basis,
right.
but the percentage of one officer per how many hundred people. So if that one officer, if you have one that spoils the bunch, that changes the perception of so many people because of how many people are impacted by just one person. That's what he's speaking
Right.
to.
And it makes me see that what is justice without change? It doesn't make sense. And the officers demonstrated that if you cross me, we will stick together no matter what and go against you. So how can we attack a problem?
What does that say to the people who are already upset and
It
protesting?
validates
for
there's a
that?
problem.
Exactly.
How can we not
Exactly.
express ourselves? Because if you do something that we don't like, we're going to snub you. And that's what they're continuing to do.
And what was sad to me is what was lost in this was that there were
Yes.
2 police officers who were senselessly killed
Yes, yes.
by some young person who decided, I'm going to go and kill 2 police. I'm going to kill police officers.
It's ignorant.
That's ignorance.
It's
That's just as outrageous as what happened to Eric Gardner or any of the others who are being killed.
But I think
That-
the one, I'm sorry
that
to
was
interrupt you.
lost.
The one thing that's different here though is that person was mentally unstable. So we
Right.
know that.
But
So we know
no,
that.
No. But what I'm saying is, so much attention has gone to them turning their back on the mayor that it has been lost. That these 2 officers, my brother's a police officer. You know what I'm saying? So I know that he got. You know, they called me and said, "Oh, he got shot." I was like, "Oh, what is going on?" You know, so I've had that feeling. But it was, luckily he was fine. So there are families that are attached to these people, and their pain has been completely overlooked, overshadowed by what these police
Yes.
officers have decided to
Agreed.
make the point.
And I respect all police officers who put their life in line for many of us.
Right.
I just want people to stand up even though people are against you.
Yes.
And that would make a bigger difference than following the crowd.
It's synergistic change versus retaliation.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what people are looking for. The peaceful protests have not been to really more so say
We're against. the
we're
police.
against something or
Right.
we're against the police, but it's saying we have a voice.
Yes.
You have to hear us.
Yes.
At this point, we won't stand for anything beyond this. That we've reached the tipping point.
Mhm.
Yes.
That's what the protests are saying.
Yes.
And I think it's coming to the table as both parties are saying, without the police, we wouldn't have
Right.
what we have.
Right.
We understand
Right. We
they put
understand
their
that
lives on the line
every
even
single day.
outside of duty.
Yes.
Yes.
They could be outside of
Agreed.
any particular thing, and if they see something, they act, and we appreciate them for it.
Yes.
But it has to be a community
Yes.
collaboration and partnership. It has to be
Yes.
synergistic.
Yes. Wow. awesome, awesome conversation. If you want to continue this conversation with us, please do so on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. We'd be glad to hear from you. This has been Our Voice, Our Opinion, and we'll be right back.